Hello, my name is Welma Redd, and I would like to share my research on Mary Bethune. She was born Mary Jane McLeod Bethune, an educator, civil rights leader, philanthropist, presidential advisor, and a Reconstructionist, alongside John Dewey, Abraham Rupp, George Counts, even though you won't see that in any book that I have read, but it is obvious. She dedicated her life to the education of African Americans between 1904, when she founded her first school, until her death, 1955. She was born in 1875, 10 years after slavery had ended officially. Her parents were unlettered former slaves, and she was one of 17 children, the only one in her family to go to school. She had hoped to be a missionary, but unfortunately, the Presbyterian Church said they didn't have a position for an African American missionary to go to Africa. So she stayed here in the U.S. and turned her missionary training into the development of education and transformation of education for African Americans. At the time, African Americans were not being taught sciences, math. They were getting basic education. In fact, when she moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, there were no schools for African Americans. She opened her school with $1.50, according to the records. She opened a hospital and started to train nurses in Daytona when the hospitals would not give proper treatment to African Americans. She's known for being one of the founding members of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. She became its vice president. She was a founding member, or the founder, really, of the National Council of Negro Women. And she also founded the Negro College Fund, which till today gives scholarships to African Americans. She was on the United Nations conference. She was a delegate from the United States for the signing of the Charter of the UN. And at that conference, she was treated to her, the writers, Warren, she was treated with as a woman, the only Black woman on the delegation. She was not allowed to register as National Council of Negro Women president. She was only allowed to register as the vice president of the NAACP. And then the others treated her in such a way that after that conference, she started to really fight for African Americans and women generally. She represented Blacks in 5 governments in the U.S. In some, there was an official position that she held for national youth and Black youth development, starting with Franklin D. Roosevelt, but she also served as an advisor to Coolidge, President Truman, and other presidents, 5 presidents of the United States. Today, you will see 2 statues of Bethune, one in the Lincoln National Park right next to Abraham Lincoln, and one in the United States Capitol building in the Statutory Hall representing Florida. Thank you. On both statues, you will see her quotation, "Invest in the human soul. Who knows? It might be a diamond in the rough."